Welcome to the ACCA 5 live revision sessions. Couple of minutes to talk about different things and then we are going to start our proper revision. So I'm Hafeez, I'm your tutor in ACCA F5 for the live online revision courses. We are going to cover a few areas, but before I start talking about those areas, please keep in mind that you must watch one video which we have recorded as the final word. Final word is approximately 10 to 11 minutes video, and that's going to entertain you for about 10-11 minutes to help you out how you should be focusing the next 3 weeks, okay? What you should be doing in the exams and what you should not be doing in the exams. The aim of my revision sessions, 4 sessions, is to make sure that we can manage time within the exam questions, okay? Solving the question at home or on your own pace doesn't really help. Solving the questions under the exam constraints is the real challenge, meaning examiners give us approximately 36 minutes to deal with one question. And the idea is that in 36 minutes, you've got to read a question, you've got to do some thinking, you've got to do computations, calculations, and then discursive areas as well. And you've got to write all your answers. It's very, very time pressurizing, okay? So over the next 4 evenings, 4 revision sessions, what I'm going to build is a technique which I call as read and write, okay? You may not see me reading the whole question in one go. You may notice that I read bits and pieces of the question and then I make use of those bits and pieces and then I move on. Number one, it helps me to do my reading of the question once. I try not to read the question twice or 3 times simply because it consumes the time. Number 2, understanding 2-3 lines or a short paragraph is a lot more easier than understanding the whole long scenario of 1 page or 1.5 page. Okay, so keep in mind this reading and writing technique. It works really well for ACCA F5. Okay, in order to apply read and write technique, you should also know that as far as the this technique is concerned, you should be aware of some answer plans or revision notes. We have uploaded the revision plans or revision notes, you can call them actually, answer plans on the platform, okay? So please have a look at those few pages, 14-15 pages, that if question about ABC comes, what exactly do we have to remember? What if target costing comes up, what exactly we need to know? Or it's about life cycle or throughput accounting, what exactly we need to take to the exams, okay? So that's all about my few words. Now I can start talking about F5 revision. So here is the planner. You can see we are going to talk about 3 areas tonight. Number 1, absorption and ABC. Number 2, target costing. And number 3, throughput accounting. And then we will extend to the next session and then so on. We'll keep on doing over 4. Computations are not too difficult. We will do computations, okay? About 50 to 60% marks of the paper, they come from the numbers. But on top of the numbers, you would always notice whether it's the revision kit questions or it's past exam paper questions. You might have observed that as far as the questions are concerned, they are very well balanced. That 50 to 60% marks on the numbers and rest of 40% plus marks on the discursive areas. Now, whenever you are writing a discussion, okay, or you are explaining things, please remember a couple of ideas. Your theoretical questions, maybe most of the theoretical questions revolve around a scenario. They come from the numbers and they are based upon analytical thoughts rather than general advantages or general disadvantages, okay? So your theory must be focused on the applications of the knowledge to the exam scenario and the numbers you have developed. There are sometimes some questions, okay, where there may be a situation when the question is asked in a very general way. What are advantages of ABC or what are general disadvantages of target costing? Okay, these are knowledge bits. Knowledge bits means you've got to read your session notes or the textbook or any other material, past papers or revision kits to gain the knowledge. But over the next few days, I will be looking into analytical scenarios where the requirements are actually coming from the scenario, and that's the major part of the theory. Okay, so we will start in a minute. Okay, just in a minute, just 1 second, because I can't see your questions, so I need to see them. The screen went blank. Right, so here we go. Let's crack on to our revision course, okay? The first topic I have picked up for your consideration is the absorption costing and activity-based costing, which is very, very important this time around. So please make sure, get your hands around absorption costing and activity-based costing really well, okay? So the question we have picked up is December 2010, question number 4, okay, which you can download from the ACCA website. You might have downloaded already. So here we go. Let's have a look at the activity-based costing and the absorption costing together. Whenever the activity-based costing and absorption costing question comes, first part is the computational part. Computations means calculate the cost or and selling price. Okay, so requirements must be the same. They will either ask you to calculate the production cost per unit, and if they are more excited, they may ask you to calculate selling price as well. All we need to do is, once we know the cost, we just have to add some profit percentages which they will give us, and that equals to the selling price. Okay, so that's the basic idea. That has been uploaded in your revision notes as well, answer plans. That any question or scenario can come up, your answer plans will not differ. And here is the answer plan of any absorption or ABC questions. You may be given 2 to 3 products, numbers are in dollars, and we can present the cost of 3 products under 3 components, because every product is made up of 3 components: some materials, some labor, and some overheads. Is that okay? Now, one thing to remember, absorption costing and activity-based costing work in most of the cases identically, okay? Cost of materials and cost of labor is calculated exactly on the same basis under 2 approaches. The only difference comes to the overheads. When we calculate the overhead cost, then the differences come. Absorption costing calculates overheads in a different way, and ABC calculates overheads in a different way. Okay, now here is the understanding. Absorption costing assumes that overheads are charged to the products using one base only. So examiners may give you labor hours or machine hours to calculate overheads for the absorption costing. Whereas under the activity-based costing, it's a costing system based upon various activities. Okay, so you may get 3, 4, or 5 overhead activities. So we've got to work out 3, 4, 5 bases to be used in order to charge overheads to the products. Okay, so let me repeat it. You may need to use 3, 4, or 5 different bases rather than labor hours, okay, in order to charge overheads to the products. So if I seek your attention to the exam question, okay, which is December 2010, question number 4, and called Gadget Company. Now please try to build this exam technique in this way, that don't worry about what's going on in the scenario. Simply focus on the requirements. What's in the requirements? A, calculate the full cost per unit of products A, B, and C. Maybe next time it could be X, Y, and Z. Okay, doesn't really matter. Full cost per unit for 3 products A, B, and C under traditional absorption costing using direct labor hours as the basis for apportionment.